I assume they'll suspend him, but
yeah, of course.
it was funny.
It was
3,
funny.
4,
2,
6,
1.
6.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan. Wildly uninteresting podcast.
Sting.
Welcome to the motherfucking show.
Yeah.
I'm Adam. That's Sarah.
Hi.
That's Ian.
Hi.
If you don't know our names yet,
Hi.
suck a dick.
Yeah.
Because we don't care.
There are 3 of us. So hard about that.
Will you turn you all down in my stuff?
Yeah.
Either
Sorry,
way.
it was just...
Did Celebrity
turn
Deathmatch
down.
ever have
Oh.
Sting,
Oh,
the
not that
wrestler, versus Sting, the singer?
I hope.
That'd have been cool.
Who did?
I was wondering if they did on Celebrity Deathmatch.
I don't know, man. You know, that show has been off air for a very long time. So it's irrelevant.
Oh,
if it
great.
is
Yeah,
on
let's
there or
not. I bet you don't go back and watch the Three Stooges ever either.
No, I don't.
Pig fucker.
Pig fucker.
Pig fucker.
So we talked
saying
earlier
it.
about a kid, right, getting famous.
Like a goat or a
and
child.
I'm talking in the millions of dollars
Oh, yeah.
off of playing a video
that's
game.
rich. That's not famous.
That was rich. That's rich to me.
No,
If-
you said famous. I'm
Well,
saying
no,
it's
he got
rich.
famous too. So famous and rich. He's
That's
like
fine.
YouTube famous.
So rich and
I was
famous.
cool with it, yeah.
Yeah.
I figured I'd just start out splitting hairs. That way, as we go in, I can just calm down and we'll be fine.
I like it.
Why don't you go ahead and calm down? We're in it.
I can't remember the kid's name, but he's a curly-headed little fuck.
That doesn't
And,
matter what his name is. Like Clarence.
He
Clearly not that
the
famous.
dude gets like
Right?
famous and rich off of playing a video game that he then in turn he gets real famous and shit. So now everybody's watching his videos, and
It's his
then
ass. They're watching his
he
ass.
plays the
Yeah.
game with a mod, so he's cheating on the game technically. And their terms and conditions say that you cannot cheat whatsoever, 0 tolerance. And they ban him from the game
Hell yeah.
for life.
Didn't we talk about this last weekend?
No.
I feel like we did.
Did we?
Go back and listen to it. Because then I was all like, yeah, and then he made a video talking about it, and he got choked up in the middle of it.
Yeah, he really did cry.
Yeah, it's
I
one
finally
thing
got
not
around to
listen
watching
me at the
it.
time, but like week to week. Come
Damn.
You
on.
watched
man.
it?
Yeah, I did
Yeah,
watch
you
it.
did.
Yeah.
I did.
How'd you feel about it? Did you laugh?
Did he
You
kill
know,
himself?
it made me
Should.
fucking feel weird. Like, because it seemed like he was faking it to a
Turning on.
point where it's like, I feel weird about this. I felt weird watching it. You ever watch something so embarrassing for somebody that it embarrasses you to watch it?
Yes.
That was that situation.
I don't think I'm capable of that.
Yeah, I do remember the
Sitting there just like,
conversation.
yeah,
You're a sociopath, though.
it's gold.
But it's crazy that because like I said, I have a buddy that believes that Twitch is like going to be absolute, like that's new shit. Everybody's going to be watching that. Nobody's going to be watching TV. But he also posed this ideal.
Scripted television is done. There are nerds playing video games.
He said that
Like
there's
that
going to be
hasn't been that
no
way forever.
there's going to be no professional sports anymore, like physical contact sports. They're all going to be like video game sports. So people are going to go into an arena and they're going to turn those into arenas that have huge screens, and you got a bunch of people playing video games. As far as sports, because they get big tournaments now, and people
Well, they
make
have
a lot of money.
they have that with League of Legends, which
Yeah,
Zach is all about. And he said there's a rumor going around that League of Legends will be in the next Olympics.
No,
If that happens, dude,
that won't happen.
let's just murder everyone.
Yeah, no.
Are you jacked about it? Are you gonna start playing?
No.
I think it's just solely a computer game.
Yeah.
By the way, I don't know though.
I think they're working on a console version, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to play that gay shit.
They've accepted some weird stuff as sports in the Olympics, but video
Gonna
games
play on the Ocho.
will not be. It
I'd play it if it were on the Ocho.
on the Ocho.
just so you can say that.
Yeah.
I've been on the Ocho.
Yeah, I've been on the Ocho. Fuck y'all. What you
Lucky,
know?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the Ocho.
And it'll not happen. It takes no other than hand-eye coordination.
Yeah.
It doesn't take any skill.
But
It does take knowledge, though, because they're an assload of characters, and they all have their specific traits and shit, and, like, certain things counteract other things, and, like, you have to time things properly. I got a lesson one day.
Well, okay, then let's have debate.
But at the same time, yeah.
yeah,
I think
I feel what
the,
you're saying, and I mostly agree with you.
yeah.
because the Twitch, they also have one where you interactive live reality or virtual reality, whatever, where people interact and watch you do like everyday things like cook or go to work or blah blah blah, right? And it's getting really big, to the point where people are making some serious money. I mean, they're making a good living playing video games, but I think it takes the physical aspect out of all of it. So the viewers don't have to go nowhere. They can, watch it at home or whatever. When they go out to watch it, there's no like physical deal. I don't know. It doesn't seem
It seems to
like it's going to happen. It's going to fizzle out, I think.
It just seems to me that like there are a lot of people who play video games and who watch other people play video games. However, in the big scheme of thing, it's probably like less than 1% of the population. So would it really, I mean, maybe 1%. It's still like,
yeah. I mean, but
that's a large number, but
one
would
day
it,
Zach was yelling about League of Legends being huge because I mean they have like a big tournament and it's like watched worldwide and shit. And more people way more people watch that than watch like the Stanley Cup in hockey.
yeah, well, that's
So,
crazy.
Yeah.
I wonder why
I know.
that is.
And they fill a stadium with people
That's
that are like,
I seen the stadium. I was
it's
like,
like, hey,
what?
we're playing this video game live. Let's fill the fucking stadium.
Well, the only one that I cared to watch, man, they had this stadium filled up, right? It was a small. You ever seen Actors Theater where it's like kind of like that Coliseum seating? Well, in the middle, they had like a screen that was also a screen on the floor, and it looked like a legit race car track. So you had two cars set beside each other, right? It was a video game, but it was drag racing.
Yeah.
And dude, if you go online and look at that video, just go on YouTube, drag race, video game, competition, whatever, it freaks you out.
Selves.
Yeah, it fucking freaks you out because there's a real person that walks out on the little virtual stage, and they drop the flag.
Is it a hot chick with like a neckerchief?
And it always.
Yeah.
What is that? Was that like something that kind of like they were like, for this sport we have to have this? It's written in the unwritten law.
We need a hot chick with the shit, and we're playing for pinks today.
Playing for pinks. I've always wanted
like
to
other
say
vaginas.
Pink slips.
I know.
Pink
But yes, you get their lady too.
Yes.
You get your car and your bitch.
And yo, bitch. I used to really want to say that. Like, I'm playing for pinks. Like, you know what I mean? I want to like something so much that I'm playing for pinks.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
You get me? I want to
feel
be.
ya.
Yeah.
There should
pop,
be like
paper, rock, scissor for
they should
pinks.
do that with
Yes.
air guitar competitions. Like the winner
Air
gets to keep everybody else's air guitars.
Is that a thing, dude? Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I can get into that.
I know.
So check it. This is super surprising.
Shoot.
There are 1.82 billion video gamers in the world
Yeah.
in 2014, and it's expected to rise to 2.7 billion by 2021.
0.7 billion players.
1.8. There's only 7 billion people in the world, and 1.8
Every now
play
and then.
video games. That
Every
doesn't
now and
mean
then.
that's all types of
Yeah.
video gamers.
Every now and then I'll pass one that I'm like, man, this looks cool. And I'll watch maybe like 1 minute of it, right? Just to get the idea. I went past this one day. It was a dude mudding on like a trail game, right? But he had the
don't
shifter.
add the G though. That's weird. It's just mudding.
Mudding.
No, he's
Yeah.
mudding.
Muddy. So
I've got
like,
a tie. I'm mudding.
the game, he had like the stick shifter and the actual stuff, and he was like he was in it. But that's what I'm saying about like the sports, even the mudding. Like it takes the physical work out of all of it. Like that's the scary thing. Like if you sit there, you're gonna get asshole cancer. Like I've seen people who sit most of their lives, they get like asshole cancer.
Yeah, and they're gonna get diaper rash like a motherfucker.
Diaper rash. You ever seen the South Park where they're all
Yes.
downstairs playing?
Yes.
And they get all fat and their necks are all.
Yeah, Cartman just turns into a blob. Yeah, meme.
That's where all like the gaming, like the actual putting in a lot of hours, I think started with like Diablo. I don't know if you're a big computer gamer, but like Diablo and another game.
Yeah.
Another game.
Another
game,
one.
yeah.
Another one.
Fuck them. They're all the same.
The,
Doesn't
the
matter.
one that we were they're playing on
Fortnite?
South Park. No.
Oh,
the
World of
World
Warcraft.
of
There you go.
Warcraft. There we go. Shut
And it
up.
started with that
What?
where they would play
I
for
got it.
fucking like
bad,
16,
shit.
17 hours straight.
Yeah.
Like, it becomes a problem. I'm okay with play the shit out of video games, but they were like, you got to contribute as well.
Right.
Could you imagine dating
It's like
somebody
it's cool
who
if that's what
runs
you
a
do
channel?
on the weekends.
I'd be so pissed because the people who run those channels, man, they'll record for like 16 hours while they're playing.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being that dude's girlfriend? Like, damn, bro.
You
Like,
would. It wouldn't exist,
I don't
or
think so.
she'd be a gamer as well,
Yeah.
and she
Oh,
would sit
she'd
next
be
to him
running
with
her
her
own
own
channel.
TV and shit.
And then you just have your own little romance going on there.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, if you got into
Baby, I need a potion.
the the females on Twitch like make a serious amount of money.
Oh yeah.
It's insane. Like because they can set
Well,
the people
it's out
watching
of
you
the
can
norm.
send like these stars that
Yeah,
are
'cause
prepaid
you
dollars.
Get a bunch of loser
it's
nerds
crazy.
watching them, and they're wearing a bra.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so lonely. Take my money.
And of course, she's talking about like the what ifs. You know what I mean? Fucking bitches.
Oh, what if-
Fucking
If I had a pussy,
bitches.
I'd be rich. You hear me?
I have one, and I'm not rich.
I wouldn't be rich for giving it
Put
up.
her back.
I know, right? Fuck you. Hey, I wouldn't be rich for giving it up. I'd be rich for playing hardball. You hear me?
Yeah.
I'd be for the what ifs. I'd be like, yeah, you want this like $1 million?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
dip out on you.
If you
Yeah.
give me this amount of money, I might take my bra off.
Maybe.
I might look at it.
Yes. Yeah.
Be all like all them bitches in high school that fucked around with me. I'm telling you, man, I'd be the same though if I was a female and I had that shit. I'd be jacked about it, dude.
I'm not like that.
Huh? No, I said all the girls that dated in high school. Did you go to my high school?
No,
No, because you are a dirty slut.
that's right.
That's right.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. It's a $43.4 billion industry. Wow. Exceeding, actually. Over 164 million adults in the United States play video games.
'Cause video games are awesome.
They are.
It's just once it becomes like super popular and like competitive and that kind of shit. I hate it when people try to consider it a sport.
Yeah.
That pisses me
Oh no,
off.
they do too, man.
Yeah.
They
call it an
seriously do.
e-sport. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Because it sets it apart. It's like if
Yeah.
you try to call it the LPGA, the PGA. No.
Yeah, I know.
No,
That's
no.
not the same thing. There's
not
a
the
reason
same
it's got a separate title.
But if you give it a separate title, that's fine.
Yeah,
But it's
but
not a goddamn sport.
do you? If I remember talking to like my parents, they would only give us like
hear that
you couldn't really
motherfucker?
play a lot. We had an
not a
Atari
goddamn
and like a
sport.
Sega
You fucking
and
bitch.
stuff. Like we didn't really have the opportunity
And stuff.
to like sit behind a game console. I think I had a PS2 like years after it was real big and shit like that. We didn't have that opportunity, so I guess I didn't get into them like that because it wasn't there. But I remember the kids back in high school that were like, yo, I'm going to do this for a living. I'm going to be a video game tester.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that 10 years later you can get filthy fucking rich for playing video games? Nobody would have thought that. I don't think so. No.
Except the dude that wrote The Wizard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
That
kind
guy.
of saw it coming.
That guy.
That guy.
I used to have a friend that was a video game tester.
Interesting.
Years ago, I was high school, entering college, or maybe the very beginning of college.
Yeah.
And that's been,
Was his name Scott?
10 years. No, it was,
Was it Todd?
Laura,
Was it
Cool
Thad?
story.
Needham's ex-girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
Cool
Nice.
story.
Well, the point is, you said no one would have ever thought, but that was 10 years
Yeah.
ago, and she was a
Yeah.
video game
Maybe just
tester.
because you're short-sighted,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
She was a video game tester before I knew her, so probably 15 years ago.
It's crazy to think, like, I can see where the people back then would have been like, yo, the internet is going to be crazy and we better buy into it now. But nowadays, with all the technology we have and it's moving so fast and everything's so rapidly changing, it's like, where's the next internet? When is the next internet coming? Like, that's what wave I want to be on.
What would the next internet be?
I think interdimensional communication.
No.
So
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe.
Hell yeah.
their vision
It's
is
going to be hundreds of years.
Ghost chat.
their vision is they want to build an internet that is for the universe. So it goes in and out of each different galaxy. Like you can connect to other worlds through this interstellar internet,
Yeah.
and talk to other galaxies, other planets that are because
So you'll have to find wormholes
well,
and I guess build them first.
I think it's because everything's off of an energy, and they think they can tap into an energy source that would be like the internet for the universe. So if we can learn how to tap into it, then we can speak with people who already are tapped into it, because the possibilities are infinite.
Infinite.
It makes me wonder, though, because it takes so long for it to travel, like for
Yeah. That's why I said the wormholes.
yeah,
You're gonna
radio
have to.
waves
Oh.
to travel.
Plus, you're going to have to
yeah.
be able to teleport to that area or just use a wormhole. Set up the shit for them. Teach them the same language.
Think about
Or
it.
just have a converter thing. You could have the babble fish.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
When if you're in
intergalactic babblefish.
like monks and shit, how they get into transcendental meditation, like really deep meditation. They have out of body experiences where they're one with everything, right? They're one with the universe and the world. If you can get into that space, whatever that space that they're connecting to, it would all be rapid. It's not like you'd all be experiencing it at one time, instead of like I'm sending a message in a bottle through the sea. It'd be like, yo, we're in the same space at the same time.
Yes, it's like
that quick. It's just like the internet.
it's like entanglement.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Take that.
Take that. It just makes me wonder, though, like, would it be real? Because, I mean, yes, if you're in a transcendental meditative state, yes, it's really happening, but you're not really outside of your body.
How do you know that?
You're going within.
Yeah, going within.
But how do you know that you're not connecting with an outside?
I guess that's true. I don't know
source?
that.
I've never been that deep. I've been on serious psychedelic trips,
Well,
but not.
yeah, I mean, David Lynch talks about transcendental meditation a lot. He's, you tap into the unified field, which connects everything.
Yeah.
But there's also not been any scientific research that I'm aware of that validates the idea of being able to get outside of your body and physically actually retain shit or learn anything.
Right.
And there's been anecdotal evidence
Right.
to support
Right.
that, but they haven't.
Well, I think it falls under the category of like them trying to explain consciousness. They can't. They
That's
never
what I was
have. They're
thinking.
never going to. I think we stumble upon it like consciousness
Yeah.
and be like, well, we don't know how it works, but it works.
I saw an article. I don't know. I don't understand the flow of time, so it's been recently. But they said there's evidence to support that there's probably not an objective reality.
Yeah.
So I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah. hell
Objective
yes.
reality.
So, yeah.
Explain.
Well, like, if you look at, okay, this is this, and it's this for everybody. But, in some cases, it's not.
But is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of frustrating to think that at the base foundation of existence, there isn't objectivity.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just like, oh, well, it depends upon the person
Everything is
receiving
and
the
isn't.
signals and shit. It's like,
So-
well, then it's like, why even fucking bother?
Yeah. I wonder, what if they somehow they created like a mini verse, if you will.
Yeah.
It's all the same
And they
experiences.
use it to power a car.
Yes, yes. Done. That's it. But they had like the consistent environment, and everybody had the exact same experiences, same education and knowledge and belief system and all that shit, and then tried to understand consciousness with them.
Yeah.
Would it make it easier? Because as the world is now, there's too many variables. Everybody is different. Everybody has different beliefs, and because we have, all the information in the world right here, and we're all raised differently. If you're completely raised the same environment, everything is the same, could you understand consciousness a little bit better? At least have that be a starting point,
Yeah,
because
it does seem like it would be helpful.
because all those other variables are gone at that point.
Right.
And
I
then
think
they
it'd be narrowed down for sure.
so you would limit the information provided to them and the education they have, and then if they come up with their own belief system, that's on them, but you only provide them one option as a belief system. This is how it is.
No,
Yeah.
I feel like it would be just like here, and
Yeah.
they would obscure it, and then they'd create money, and then they'd create greed, and then they'd fucking war on each other, and I feel like they just waste time like we have.
It seems like
I think we could have
reasonably-
got there already.
I mean, I could be entirely wrong about this, but it feels like you should have 3 options for belief.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to have somebody that's just going to create on their own the opposite of whatever they're told, and then there will be a slight variation, and then you're going to have that.
Yeah.
But, if you give people 3 options, it's going to take them a little longer to start thinking out of the box there.
I wonder if you take away all the stuff, essentially, like, because we create opposition because it's like human nature in a sense, but we've also seen people create opposition, and it just happens. What if they don't know anything about it? I mean, they don't get to watch the news. There's no social media. Like, they don't know opposition.
Ego and narcissism, I think we create it.
I don't know when it starts, because, I mean, it's pretty much in the foundation of reality, with like the duality and that kind of shit. So
If you give them free
it feels
will,
inevitable, but I don't know at what point.
Right.
if you give them free will, I think they'll definitely come up with a creator, and then they'll want you
Yeah.
to follow a certain people.
Follow my creator.
Right.
Yeah,
I
because
guess
they're not gonna want. Yeah, people are the narcissistic ego is definitely gonna be like, "Yo, follow me." There's gonna be people that come
you'll
along.
follow me.
It's like Hitler's no different than
Jerry Falwell.
The Roman king
Junior.
that created the New Testament. He's no different than that.
King James.
King James. I
I
don't know why
got
I
you.
couldn't
No,
think of
I
it.
know. It happens.
But he's no different than that. The new book, the New Testament was all put there by man
Mm-hmm.
experiencing the Spirit of the Lord. But that's their opinion. I can say that I'm experiencing the Spirit of the Lord,
Right.
but it's like
Maybe that's how you get rich. You write the Third
the
Testament.
Third Testament.
Shit.
Hell yeah.
Shit.
That's
Done.
But that's what I'm saying. Like in reality, they were trying to control the Roman
Yeah.
people
Empire.
and enslave them. So what better way than make them fear a god and feel enslaved to a god and make it right through the Bible?
Fear is your only god.
Yeah, man.
On the radio.
But
Nah,
that-
fuck
that-
it. Turn it off.
That
Turn that shit up.
narcissism and that ego will definitely make a man create something so that you'll follow him and him only, and you'll think he's the truth.
Right.
But every religion is based in that. There's always somebody that says that they've received word from the Lord through the Holy Spirit, or whatever they call it in their, their
Right.
language. And that's where your God comes from. And you can choose to believe it or not.
Can we have a quick sidebar?
Yeah.
Okay.
I also have a question though
With
when
the
we're
whole,
done.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
With the the God thing, fear is your only God. You guys got me the Rage record,
Yeah.
and I put it on the other day. Like I do.
Yeah.
And I got tequila drunk and made some like bacon potato soup that Zach gave me a recipe for, and it was fun.
That sounds
I
awesome.
Like it was at max volume,
Yes. Hell yeah.
and yeah,
Did that give you?
it was so good.
Yeah. Sounds
it.
fantastic.
The
I loved
potato soup and the tequila, that gave you some like wicked shits the next
Oh,
morning,
yeah.
right?
Oh, I'm still in them.
I had to, yeah. Okay.
Still in them.
So that's something that just doesn't go away. I feel like the older I
Shit.
get too, every time I drink that or whiskey, it's like, well, you might shit your pants the next morning.
God
What is that?
bless.
All right, what's your question?
So
Sidebar over.
what if you started in the experiment, started them on like meditation and kind of downsizing the ego just from the get-go, so it's already part of their culture and environment, and because that's what it does, it I guess diminishes your ego. So what if you started them with that as just part of their normal routine and practice, and they already started with a diminished ego, whereas like our egos are just like crazy.
Yeah, I am
world
number
would
one.
be a
What
beautiful
have you done? You're at the
place.
bottom of the list. I'm number one.
Yeah, yeah.
The world would be a beautiful place. You need to teach them to silence anybody who says they're the true whatever.
Right.
That's what you need to teach them. Anybody comes along, they are trying to shade you away from the truth, and you need to out them as quick as possible.
I feel like also though, like having someone create an experiment like this, no matter how controlled it is, like no matter what you create, like part of you is in it because your perspective goes into it when creating it.
Plus, I was
Yeah.
thinking that, the person that made the experiment is the one that's, this is truth. This
Yes,
is the
He's
way.
the God,
exactly.
yeah.
And then,
or she's the God.
So,
but it's a microverse, so who cares?
yeah, exactly.
I do love it when you that's why I try not to get in too many conversations, not with you all because you're open-minded, but about religion to people, because people are so this is it, and if you say anything different, you're the fucking Antichrist, and I don't want to tell you, and they want to throw holy water on you, or say a prayer with you, or send you to a prayer group so you understand more.
Well, let them pray with you, man. Let them get their points.
Well, I mean, and there are people that even if you were like open-minded with them and like wanted to discuss and stuff, like some people are just dense and it's not gonna get
No.
in. It's not gonna get
Like,
there.
I can't even entertain that idea because I don't understand it.
Yeah, no
No.
idea.
Well, and they've never, which is free will and free thought are like the greatest gifts God ever gave. Because people say, well, if there is a God, why didn't he just endow us with knowing it all?
Yeah.
And you got to think about how boring the world would be if you knew it all. Like he
Yeah.
gave us the power of thought so that it gave us the power of thought so that we could set all
Yeah, it's
day.
so ingrained in us that it's a he.
I know.
Yeah, I know that. I hate every time I say it. I'm like he.
What
but
can
it's
you
an
tell
it.
us about
Yeah.
God? What did he say? Well, she's black.
Black, that's right.
Yes.
That's but I just think that when it comes to Christians, I think that their brain is wired in a way that they shut down and it protects them, and they're unintelligent. And it's all it comes down to is that they have no further thought other than I'm a sheep. I'm being led by this book,
It's
and
like,
that guy.
even with me personally, I tend to think of God as just like the one that is everything.
Everything,
But I
yeah.
still have the image of the bearded dude in the
Bearded
sky
guy.
sometimes. It's like, no,
Yeah.
no,
No.
disconnect from that.
Yeah.
And that's what I've always said, that like God is in every single person. You have God and the powers of God within you because we're all a part of it. Like we're the universe experiencing a human.
I'm
That's
God,
what we
you're
are.
God, that washer's God.
So
Yeah.
God. You would have to essentially
It's like
find
it's so Raven.
Yeah.
It's so God.
It's so God. Yeah. You'd have to find a new image to replace it with because, like, we need that as people. We
My
need
next default is a purple talking koala. And below
Yeah.
that is a taco.
I'm
My-
gonna pick a gnome.
my thing was just the world and the sky. Like, I can literally see the earth like from afar, so blue and white, and then you could also see like the sky and stars and all that stuff. Do that one. Use that shit. It's a
that
good
one.
Yeah.
No, but I think it goes down to unintelligence. When you're talking to devout religious people,
Yeah.
other than like Buddhists and stuff, and even when you don't agree with the Buddhists, they're like, okay,
You know,
man.
devout is Japanese for foolish.
Oh, really?
No.
No, we just made that shit up.
Made it
Oh,
up.
so that would fucking make a lot of sense.
No.
Yes.
I
But-
wish though.
I
The
want to know where it
If
comes
anybody
from.
even knows what devout is Japanese for, give us a call.
we were I was watching a bunch of videos about how you could match up the Roman conquest with the stories in the Bible, and they match up pretty perfectly because that's what the Romans were trying to do. They had to find a way to lead and enslave their people. So what better way than make them so afraid for the fiery depths of hell through this God? And how could you, if you said something to me, you're my everything. If you said something to me and I didn't agree with, I'm not going to just agree with you because I'm in love with you.
Right.
If
yeah.
it sounds fucked up, I'm going to
That
be like, hey,
idea that
Yeah.
like they can rule the people by a fear of the afterlife just speaks to the idea of how little people at that time, or even now, have like a personal relationship with a god of any sort.
Right.
It's like, well, yeah, I mean, if I believe in him, I'm going to get what I want out of it.
Yeah.
Rather than going within and thinking, all right, this is
Yeah.
how I'm going to connect with this motherfucker.
Well, and I think it's so deeply just into us that I think I've said this before, like, if you even start to stray, if you're like devout, like you said, or even if you're not, you get this feeling of, oh my God. I remember in college, I went through a period of being an atheist. Right. Well, I remember when I first came to this conclusion, I wouldn't say it to anybody. And I felt bad about it. I felt like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to go to hell, basically. Like, I'm just... And we weren't even like, we didn't go to church every Sunday. It's not like God is your God. It was just whatever. Like sometimes we went to church, but it wasn't all of that. And I still remember feeling nervous about it. I wouldn't say it. And
recently, like going to talk when they were kicking me out of church. Like when I go and talk to them, like I was, nervous as fuck. But when I was leaving, it was like a burden was lifted. I felt much better because I didn't have to lie to people. I didn't have to put on a fake smile.
Right.
I didn't have to agree with them just because if I didn't, I'd be brought, to the committee.
Oh yeah.
It's
Not the committee.
not the committee. But no, it's a weird feeling. But if you free yourself from all those and let all possibilities be open, it's a great experience to just experience life with no boundaries.
Well, and finding your own spirituality and like person, like whatever, not necessarily person, but own thing to
your own shit.
To believe in and live your life by is completely and totally fulfilling. It's wonderful if you can actually find that. You're no longer searching. You don't feel fake. You don't feel like you're lying to people.
How is it that we only got the Bible from the Catholic Church? Like without the Catholic Church, we wouldn't have the Bible, right? Mm-hmm. So how did 20 other religions come from one book that is shared by 20 religions?
It's all open to interpretation.
That's fucking bull. And everybody, they want their goddamn 10% or their money a different way. So they're like,
my
we could do
better.
this.
I want 13%.
Look, it's
get
just
the fuck
like
out of here. Scientology and shit.
Us being taxed at every single level as a company.
What does Scientology have to do with that?
They're cocksuckers. Just
Look,
like
they
the rest
have
of them.
followers. That's what it's got to do with that. But it's just like us being taxed at every single level. Like, the fucking county didn't used to tax for being a small business, but they do now.
You get county, state, federal, a sales tax.
Like there's
tax.
like all kinds of them, and it's the exact same thing. Everyone wants their share of the fucking pie.
And the crazy thing is,
fair share.
They only get that
Gluttonous
from the workers, from the
dumb
enslaved people. The state gets it from the enslaved people. Everybody, because when you're a rich business owner, you don't get taxed near as much, if any at all. Like you don't get taxed on that money. But when you're the employee, the enslaved person, because let's face it, we've been tricked into thinking that we're not enslaved and we're not controlled. If you don't think you are, you definitely are. Like you know what I mean?
And
like
if you think you are, you definitely are.
Yeah. You're right.
And if you fight that system, you'll have to go live, homeless in a tent somewhere.
But I mean, let's be fair. There are major business owners that pay healthy amounts of taxes.
Yeah. In general, they do.
I feel like last year,
like,
Bill Gates paid more in taxes than the three of us will ever make, combined.
But he made
you don't know what I'll make
10 times what he had to pay in taxes. You know what I mean? Whatever the astronomical amount in taxes were, he made 10 times that, and one man cannot spend that much money. You can't. You give it all
Challenge accepted.
Shit.
I like you see you
Let's
try.
not do that shit. So, devout. I just want you to know. Old English. Let's see. From Latin, I'm going to say devotus. Devout. Devoted. Sorry. Yes, that's it. Okay. So it's devotus. Devout. No, Tus. Yeah.
Hopelessly devoted.
Yes.
You,
I
That's
don't know,
Japanese for devotus.
Another thing that I believe that you should not get in the habit of doing is watching anything to do with conspiracy theories. I got a conspiracy theory
should.
about
yeah, conspiracy theories are
theories.
great.
I got a conspiracy theory about conspiracy theories.
Hell
I think
yes.
they're only called conspiracy theories because they have made people believe that anybody who does this certain thing, which if it's a conspiracy theory, they make that sound like they're crazy.
Yeah.
Every time you hear somebody bring up conspiracy theory, you're like, oh, that person's probably crazy.
Well, I mean, it's a conspiracy theory because it comes from to conspire, and to conspire, you have to have people working together.
Yeah.
So then it's not just, oh, this one guy is fucking doing this. It's like, oh, we got this cabal
I'm a
doing
cabal.
this. But I learned yesterday that there's a high likelihood that, the idea that crack was, targeted towards the, yeah, that's probably not true.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe that.
No, it's a conspiracy theory. Because, I mean, even the dude that cracked the initial story,
Yes.
later went on to say, yeah, it's probably not entirely true, and it's
Probably.
It's
not.
lightweight
yeah.
true though because they funded a war.
well, they were funding a war. They weren't thinking, hey, let's kill black people with crack.
they just put
They
it
were
in
just
the
like,
city.
well, we got to sell it somewhere, get it to the dealers in the city.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
so
They
it
could
just
have
so
just
happened.
gotten rid of it
No.
instead of selling it. They
You
didn't
have to sell it to fund.
But a,
yeah,
go-
you
a
have to
corrupt
fund
government
Yeah.
can't just get rid of it.
It
Yeah,
could.
you
But-
had to fund a war, so you had to make money off of it. So
I mean,
you
I'm
couldn't
still
just
of the
get rid
mindset that I believe the conspiracy theory, but
I
it's
do,
not
yeah.
the accepted fact that I was willing to accept that it was.
Oh, I got you.
No less true.
Yeah. No less true. What was your conspiracy theory about conspiracy theories?
Oh, I just think that the government has purposely made that like a insane person or a crazy person thing to do is do a conspiracy. Because when you come up with one, even when you have like Snowden blowing the whistle on these people, if you say that he's a conspiracy theorist, they're like, oh, okay, so they just disregard these facts that he's laying down for you, that they're listening to us. That
It's like what the social justice warriors are doing with racism. He's a racist. Shut him down. We don't have to listen to anything else he
So
says.
quick.
He's a
Yeah.
conspiracy theorist.
Yeah.
Shut him down.
And look how quick you lose everything by being called a racist or a conspiracy theorist. Like, you lose all credibility. People stop listening. You lose everything that you've ever worked for.
We should start accusing people of being labelers.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah.
oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. You're a racist. You're a labeler.
Yeah. Well, and people are just so black and white. Like, just because you believe in conspiracy theories doesn't mean that you're not this whole other list
Other,
of
yeah.
things.
Yeah, they're Mexicans too.
Yeah, right? You're also a Mexican. But just like when you do something bad, you're not a bad person necessarily.
Right? Just because you're a good person doesn't mean you can get away with doing bad shit.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot I can believe.
He
There's
gives
one
to
about
charity, but he
the,
fucks pigs in front of kids.
the New World Order. I can get on board with that. But then the stuff that they tie to the New World Order, like the Denver airport and stuff, I get it. The mural that they painted was a little suspicious. But some things I think that they dig too deep, but I don't think the conspiracy theory is far off. Mm-hmm. I think in general, like, I would go to
I believe
9/11
in
and
the
talk
Denver
about that.
airport wholeheartedly.
I fucking believe in that one too. I see all the symbols and stuff, and I've watched it a bunch of times. I kind of get it, but that goes to say, like, are they depicting these to make you like get off their trail? So maybe there is something about the Denver airport, but the things that are being shown to you are to like get you away from the
It's
trail.
like, yeah,
of the
man,
real
here's
shit.
some breadcrumbs that lead to a dead end, you dumb
Dead end,
shit.
Yeah. And that's what they do. Like, so that's something that because they control the media, and all news stations in general are owned by 5 television stations, and it's always been that way, and that's how they pumped out propaganda and all that shit. But I wonder, when the internet came along, were they able to contain that fire? Because you have people saying some
Yeah, 'cause I
outlandish
figured they
shit.
started the internet.
Yeah. Well,
It goes deep, man.
goes-
no,
so
it does. They said that Spectrum, and I forgot the other one, like America Online, AOL, right? Those two companies were the only two
got
companies,
mail.
still the only two internet companies, like legitimately. And it's, if they do own the internet, like they allow what's in. But I mean, I can go upload a video right now of me saying some outlandish shit. And then, you know.
Interesting. I don't know everything surrounding the airport conspiracy.
Oh, there's like a mural of the New World Order taking over.
See, I remember the mural. Now that I'm reading a little bit about it.
And it's
Sorry.
built on top of something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the AUAG, Australia, or some, it's the chemical they would use to pretty much out us to gas us and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot about, and then like the landing strip and shit and the way it's built, it looks like the Nazi symbol. And then they built a bunch of buildings underneath it. They said was for storage, but it's far beyond anything that they would ever need for storage.
Yeah.
And these storage things are underground, and they have a sprinkler system that isn't useful because it's an all concrete building. And they said that what they'd probably do is put a bunch of people down there and gas them.
Gas them.
Like,
I was thinking drown them.
Australian something. I forgot what the fucking thing was. But that's a possibility, man. Mm-hmm. And if people think, and it goes back to people in religion and not being able to think outside of religion.
Yeah.
You have a bunch of people, even people overseas, that have been taught to respect and fear and love the government. They can do no wrong. They're here for us, blah, blah, blah. They're not going to be able to think outside themselves like, our country wouldn't, genocide and do anything to hurt us and tax us irregularly. And they do it blatantly in front of you. And they're like, yeah, we didn't do that. And everybody's like, oh, okay, cool. I didn't think you did.
Yeah, cool. Thanks for not.
Anyone who believes that their government doesn't do anything sketchy is retarded.
Yeah. Unless you're French. I feel like the French government doesn't do anything sketchy.
Yeah, I think you're retarded.
Like they're deviant.
I have a feeling that, like, we always think, like, America is trying to rule the world and get into that pocket. I don't think there's no real, like, the people who are in power allow presidents to happen, allow kings and queens all that shit. But in reality, when the chips are down, these motherfuckers run it. The entire world. Not just some of it, all of it. They fucking... People are crazy if you don't think there's a supreme group of people.
Well, and there would definitely be some kind of, like, worldwide panel, essentially, of people, like...
Realistically, how much power would they have, and how did they get it? Are they the former kings and queens with that bloodline, and then they rose up? They're like, look, we will slay you.
It was like, I think it started with the railroad owners, the oil owner, the people who started, like, back in 1899, like the fucking, you know what I mean? I don't know, like the beginning of the Industrial Revolution.
Back in 1899, when the world was built.
Like Rockefeller and all, like the people who were making the most money, they had more money than God. The people who had the most money, the most gold, that's who's on that panel. That bloodline is on that panel.
Hypothetically, that's the case. How do they maintain that power?
Well, it's just like...
Why has there never been an overthrow of it? Why is there
maybe that it's been going on like that certain bloodline. Even that's why they made as much money as they did back in the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, is because that bloodline has always ruled the world, even back in Jesus' time.
It would be just like today, like what we see, like people are not going to rise up and fuck up what they already have.
Right. You have that little bit.
If you have like a panel of 7 and they've got their little minions that do stuff for them, they're not going to rise up and do anything because they don't want to fuck up what they already have. It's just like,
Brutus had no problem stabbing Caesar.
We don't live in those times now, though. I feel like
surreal.
Back then, you could like kill like the king or whatever, right? You can kill him. And then you'd be like, I run this shit now. Yeah. You're listening to me. And people would be like, oh, and they'd bow down on one knee and stuff. Now they'll just erase you and your name and your social security and lock you away or just kill you. And be like, fuck him.
Well, and whatever happened to Brutus? I mean, what's the story after?
I don't know what happened to
Maybe he's
him.
an
I don't
elite.
know.
I didn't
That's
read
the
it.
point. Yeah.
No, I don't know.
It's just like
they
the-
definitely.
Huh?
Well, go ahead.
It's just like that top drug dealer. How they have maintained being the top drug dealer because they're the one that people fear the most.
They fear.
Well, it
People
just
feel
feels like
fear.
nature. Like whenever you have lions battling for supremacy, eventually the top lion's gonna get old and he's gonna get his neck eaten, and then somebody else pops in and fucks his bitch.
Yeah,
His
yes.
bitch.
Exactly how it
No,
happens.
I think people are just too scared to think that. And then, so especially in America, you have lights, you have electricity, you have air conditioning, all this stuff. If all that was ripped away and you were left to your own devices, that's a scary thought, especially for a lot of people. The majority of
But
people.
a lot of rednecks are
scared.
excited about that prospect.
And I
I
think
got
they
my
would do
basement
well.
full of water, got my closet full of guns, and I got 7 daughters.
I think they would do very well in a time like that when survival is king. But that's the thing, like those people that are ready for it can't do anything at the moment because nobody else is ready. We need numbers to do things because their power and their money is so great that we would need an entire population of Americans to go and do
So
that.
Right.
back in the day when the Big Show would come into the Royal Rumble, you got to get 4 people to get him out.
Yeah. I like
That's-
that you said rednecks and you didn't use that traditional redneck
Redneck.
voice. I appreciate that.
No, that's but it just scares a lot of people, and they have like their heat and air and all that, and they're very comfortable. And although we get taxed as fuck, you hear everybody complaining. They do that with the racial thing, and the liberals do it. Like they complain, but nobody does anything because you don't want to upset. You don't want to rock the boat. Look at
Keep your nose
Snowden.
down and
It's
just
like because
keep
if you
doing
know if you tip the boat, then you're worse off than if you're being taxed.
Yeah.
shit. That's right.
Well, yeah,
I can't
because
swim. I
Yeah.
never learned.
you think
the
about
water.
I
Snowden,
didn't have
and
to.
Snowden he's been in hiding ever since he blew the whistle. Like nobody knows where this guy is. He doesn't live a comfortable life. You always got to hide and shit.
He's on Joe Rogan. He couldn't be that uncomfortable.
Hey,
Who the hell
what?
is this guy?
Snowden, he was a whistleblower for
NSA, I think.
NSA.
Oh, awesome.
He got it. He put out there that they were listening to your
Maybe
conversation.
he was
that-
CIA.
Oh.
Yeah.
Either way,
I think it's
Yeah.
CIA.
he had the shit. Yeah.
Okay.
And then he was all like, "Nah, they're wiring everything."
Yeah.
Wiring us, controlling us through
And
media.
then they made a movie about him starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
That's
But see,
awesome.
he
It's funny, I was
contacted
just
Joe
talking to Mom
Rogan.
about that today.
Yeah.
He
NSA.
contacted Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan put it to where he was like, "Yo, I won't give you up or anything." He legitimately wanted him on the
Joe
show.
Rogan, I want you to know I'm a whistleblower.
Whistleblower.
Hey, Joe Rogan. Uh-oh.
But
Damn it!
I
Sorry.
could fire you.
Ah!
Yeah, man. So but anybody who comes out like that fears being killed. You can get killed over coming up with an invention.
Yeah.
That's just like, look what they did to Tesla. One of the smartest men ever to walk the face of the earth. And they silenced him and made him look like a old fool.
Yeah.
Like through his whole life. And he died broke in a hotel room.
I say all you
But
have
yeah,
to
he
do
was-
is make someone look crazy.
Well, he was a
and
scientific
look crazy.
genius, but he was an idiot businessman.
I don't think
Get a fucking patent.
No, look, I don't think it had so much to do with that. It was that J.P. Morgan was backing him. And when Tesla came out and said, I want to create free energy from the atmosphere and spread it and disperse it for free, J.P. Morgan was like, no. Like, we want electricity that we can run through a meter and charge people
we
for.
want money.
And then we want to put tax on that and double charge.
Double charge.
That's what happened. It's once if it doesn't make money or
The
if
electrical
it
charge and
upsets it-
charging for it. I get
oh,
it.
like the guy with the water power car. Same thing. Like, dude, I'm for sure he probably got killed because of that. He didn't want to give up his patent.
He died like a week later. Like
Yeah.
he made
And
that
he
shit
said I
and
was
died.
poisoned.
Yeah.
And then they made him sound crazy in all the reports. They were like, he ran out and said he was poisoned and he was a conspiracy theorist, but, a paranoid schizophrenic and blah,
yeah.
blah, blah. His car really didn't work. It fucking worked, dude. They wanted the patent. They were going to pay him millions
They
for
did
it. He didn't
donuts
wanna
at
do
the
it.
Kmart. That shit worked.
Yes.
But there's a reason why people don't fucking rock the boat because you will be erased.
Oh yeah.
Look at the guy that fucking blew the whistle on Area 51.
Oh, I was like,
It's like he never even was born.
He's got nothing. There's no record of him. He doesn't have a social. He doesn't have anything.
You know what's crazy about
all
the
his
social...
education's been. He's got nothing. He can't even work.
Your social security is a
That's
way
nuts.
for them to own you before you ever born and never have a say in it.
Yeah, they need to track
when your
you.
mother signs your birth certificate,
He might be a tulpa.
that's her signing
I don't
you
know what
away
that
to
is.
your government.
It's like
Did you know that?
It's-
You are property of your government
hell
when
yeah.
she signs that paper.
It
Property
tells
of the D's
exactly
nuts.
where you were born, what county you were born. You can
I
tell
had
by
no
the
say in
number. Yeah.
I was too like that needs to be something like, okay, well, if I don't want to be assigned away to this government, let me have some options here. What government can I be assigned to? Because that's her saying that here's
Who's
a number.
my master
You're on-
now?
Your number is, or your birth certificate is no more than a bill of sale. Like, you know what I mean? You're a commodity when it comes to your government
That's
because you
exactly.
pay taxes. So you're better than gold because you keep giving.
Yeah.
Gold just sits there.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Just sits there, stays hard.
Stays
What's a
hard.
tulpa?
It's like you create it in your mind,
Oh.
but then they take on their own consciousness.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
Interesting. I've never
weird.
heard that word before. Not that I know of. I'm a tulpa. You're a tulpa. He's a tulpa.
It also
Jesus,
exists
Tulpa.
in the world of Twin Peaks, but
Nah.
that's not like the real tulpa.
Meh.
No.
So you have any other conspiracy theories?
Oh, I have
that
a
you
lot
wanted
I've been watching, but you know what's crazy is when you get into something. I do this when I'm looking at something that I really like. Like I'll go from atmospheric energy to how to make a motor or how to make a air-powered generator so that I can create energy from compressed air, blah, blah, blah.
How to lose a guy
I
in
get
10
down in
days.
this fucking tunnel, dude, and I keep going and going
Do
and
it
going.
in 9.
When it comes to conspiracy theories, man, you pick one and they're all pretty much like attached to one another. Like
Yeah.
they have their hands in everything. Bilderberg this and child molestation that. And it's like once you start going, it's hard to be like, well, I could take a break.
I think the only one I ever got super duper into and read a bunch of shit was, it's not even a conspiracy. Well, I don't think it is. It's the MK Ultra stuff, Illuminati and all of that. And I read about that shit forever and ever. But other than that, I don't know why I don't ever sit down and read the stuff. Like the stuff about 9/11, I just feel like there's too much. And I don't know where to start. How would I ever
the
know where to
beginning.
start? Well, because then if I watch one video or read one article, they're going to mention a million things. I have no idea what it is.
Yeah, it's when you have to dig in for like a month and
Yeah.
you're just
Yeah.
like,
And
all right,
do
they
it.
mentioned this because I get stuck in holes like that. Like when I look up shit on the internet and they're like, I get 2 sentences in, it's like, oh, this. I'm like, fuck, now I gotta
Yeah,
read this.
fuck, yeah.
So I go read that, and then while I'm reading that, it references something else. And
Maybe that's why I do that, get into that rabbit hole and keep going down, because you'll see something you're like, oh, now I got to go read about Bilderberg.
Right.
Then I got to read about the CIA and how they started. And then I got to read about skull and bones.
Skull and
Shit
Bones.
like that, man.
But then, you can just think, oh, well, Occam's razor. And then you just wipe it all out. It's like, well, that's highly unlikely.
But
That's what they want you to think.
Yeah, no, I'd rather read about it.
Yeah.
But I just get lost. There's too much, and my
Yes.
brain. It's like when I walk into Walmart, I'm like, I'm just overwhelmed by all the people, the product, the lights, the temperature. There's too much stimuli.
I just
That's
think
how it
pizza
is.
Lunchables, video games, and pens.
I could know what I want when I walk in there, and as soon as I step foot, I'm like, oh, what did I come here for? I have no idea.
it's crazy how they market that too. It makes you feel like you want everything in the store.
Yes.
But you don't need any of it. Not one thing.
I
You're
get
like,
that at
want it all.
Target, but not Walmart. Walking
Ooh,
into Walmart,
Target.
like I'm just immediately angry.
Oh,
that
yeah,
I'm
every
there.
time. Yeah.
I want to always buy furniture at Target. Like,
Yes.
because they present
yeah.
it so well. I'm like, I'll get furniture and a new T-shirt.
Yes. Their home decor area is definitely the best part.
No, that's yeah, your head starts spinning when you look up all that shit, and it's like, but I do like it because it gives me the same feeling as when I got kicked out of the church. Like, they kicked me out. It wasn't the thing that they narrowed down on the podcast was about me talking about the Hinduism and that I can believe in that, or the Indian Muslims and stuff. I can believe in that. Well, they got pissed off because of that, and they were like, how can you do that and say that you're a devout Christian,
Right.
blah blah blah.
Pick a side, bitch.
Yeah.
That's
So
what it was.
we were talking about religion, and they're
So
like, "Oh, you're not a Christian."
It makes me feel better knowing that I'm going against the grain, because I'd rather go against the grain than follow like anybody else. Like, you know what I mean? And like, I build my own theory to their theories. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm okay. I can believe some of that. That's a little far out. Flat Earth, you're probably retarded.
Yes.
But I think they're hiding something. But I don't think it's flat. Like, you know what I mean?
It's not entirely flat. It's
Yeah.
orb, and then
It's a little bit of something there.
it's like a golf tee.
If it's not entirely flat, it's not flat.
That's what. So
It's all relative. You believe what you want to believe.
yeah, I think so much is beyond our comprehension, and then the behaviors of human beings are so beyond our comprehension that when people start looking into that, they'd rather believe that it's all for us and not against us. The government loves us, and we're all like, military is great. Like, they want to fucking believe in patriotism because it's just too much for this to handle.
yeah.
for them.
Optimism is nice, but I mean, blindly believing it just so that you can sleep
Blindly.
at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's better than the alternative of just blindly thinking they're against you, because then the way it affects your mind, like psychologically, if you think everybody's out to get you, life's a little more fucked up.
Yeah.
If you think everybody's on your side, life's pretty dandy.
You
And then whenever people
definitely-
prove you wrong, then it's like once a month.
Yeah.
That's I'm okay with that. Trying to do that's one thing that I'm like. I told her, I was like, so I don't like to get into that hole where you're like, everybody's against me. Why try, right? I like to think of it as, if there are infinite possibilities and these people are doing some fucked up shit, that means that anything in this world I can create and do, I'm going to think about the most outrageous shit and see if I can bring that to life in this physical world. Because if we don't understand anything, because technically we don't, science is science and it explains things, but they don't know for
To
sure.
the best of our ability.
Yeah. So how do you know that I can't
made
create
iPhones.
a unicorn with my
done.
mind?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So
I mean, anything is possible. So you're right. I mean,
anything
why?
and everything's possible.
It's definitely stupid to blindly follow, but I mean, I know how much fucked up shit happens in the world, but I'm still positive. And
I wish I had
Yeah, 'cause a
enough.
bunch of good shit happens too.
yeah.
Maybe I can create a Patreon, and I just want enough money to go buy, like, 10, 20, 100 acres, right? And just create things on that land, right? Like, I want to build a 162-foot pyramid just for the
Just
fuck
do
of
it.
it.
Just
See if I
'cause.
can turn it into a battery. See if I
wanna
can make electricity from
Plant
it.
trees on half of it just so we have woods on there. I want to make our own woods.
I want to build
Be
a
cool.
Yeah.
gigantic slingshot,
Yeah,
And-
that'd be awesome.
hurl watermelons
Yes.
across that land.
Have a big blow up thing so we can hurl people and just
Ooh.
land on it.
Our aim has to be proficient.
I'm
shit,
sure
shit,
there's
shit we
gonna-
missed. He's gonna die.
Yeah, there's
we didn't
He's
like him
gonna die.
anyway.
definitely going to
Bury
lose
him
some
out
people
there.
in the process.
That's what I'm
Or at
saying.
least
Give
break
me-
some bones.
Give me a bunch of land and a bunch of, like, just all your useless junk that people throw away, and let's try to make something out of it, or build some art and burn it down. Like,
Yeah.
that's that's happiness right there. Where
Yeah.
no responsibility but to yourself. How you gonna enjoy life, right? How do you want to fucking do it? And that's your responsibility. Fuck the taxes. Fuck following anybody, believing in religion. None of that. Go on that land and make yourself happy. I wonder what people would come up with. You know what I mean? Makes you wonder.
Yeah.
No electronics, no none of that. But we'll give you a bunch of junk that the rest of the world's thrown away.
A bunch of junk.
Build something with
Yeah.
it.
So then the idea of paying no taxes and being sufficient for yourself and shit. If you buy stuff on Amazon, are you cool with paying sales tax?
Yes.
Okay. And then with the no taxes, if your house catches on fire, are you going to call the fire department, or are you going to put it out yourself?
I would have to put it on myself at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, great. And I
Yeah.
figher if somebody's trespassing, you just cut
You
their
gotta-
head off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
that's
gotta
fine.
you gotta think of those things too as well. You set up a system that is available to you. Say something catches on fire, and if you can't get it in time, well, hey,
Yeah.
sorry.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
Then
no,
what
I
if,
agree
what
with
if,
that.
what if, like, one of your cats needs to go to the vet,
No,
are you gonna?
can't do that either. No, because
Then you have to use the roads.
no, I will pay. That's right. I
You
get what you're
just
saying.
go to
Yeah.
school and learn how to care for your own animals.
Yeah.
You would have to, or just read, I guess.
Learn.
Then you have to
yeah,
use the
can
roads
learn.
to get to the school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can just live on my land and be like Pool's place. I can just live on the land and just, that's what I do. I don't want for anything and I don't ask anybody for anything. If you want to give it, give me something, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Give me some shit.
But when it comes down to it, man, I just want to see like the responsibilities part. And I'm okay with paying the taxes, but I wouldn't, I'll pay it on my land because it's my land and I know that just has to happen. Here's some money for me being on my land,
Yeah.
But we are the only species that gets charged to be here and gets charged to leave here and to be born here.
Yeah. You
Fuck
definitely,
this place.
you definitely get charged a lot for everything.
Well, I mean, you could just drown yourself in a river.
yeah.
And you wouldn't be charged for leaving.
Yeah, no, if they don't find the body, no, you don't pay anything. But if they find the body, there's
I'm gonna jump in a lava.
someone, a lava. Someone's paying for that shit, though.
I do like to think that we are the universe.
Charge the
one
volcano.
Universe experiencing being a human. Like, this is the universe wanting to experience being a human and to, like, all humans. Like, the universe wants to see what happens when they're everybody and nobody.
What if they're
And
experiencing
nobody.
being a lion and we're just here?
But
And our ego just tells us that it's being human because we're human.
no, I don't know.
Oh,
That's what I'm
I
saying,
like
like-
the idea. I'm just
Just
Because
thinking.
they say that
Yeah.
all time, well, not they say like it's a fact, but all time being happening at once, like there's no linear version of time.
right.
Every instant, everything's happening at one time, and everything that has happened before will happen again. That's fun because you
Yeah.
think about it, and
It
I think
is.
wasn't where I
I
thought that
truly
was
think
going.
that's why they made suicide in the Bible a cardinal sin. Okay, if you knew it was that easy to start this game over, right? Say when I was in prison
Right.
and I didn't have anybody, all that shit. If I knew it was that easy to start this game over, just take a bunch of pills, be done with it, come back as a fucking whatever next time. They don't want you to know how easy it is to restart this game because you're an infinite energy that's always moving through time.
Well, I tend to think like in those terms, it's like on like an infinite timeline. You're meant to learn certain lessons in certain lives.
Ooh.
So if you cut this one short, you're not going to learn something that you were going to learn when you were 50.
So you have to. Go
So it's like, well, fuck you, man, you coward. You didn't want to learn that lesson, and the only way to get it is to immerse yourself in the shit.
Yeah.
right.
So,
And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with fucking living the rest of my days in a cell somewhere and holding, just for the thought of knowing that everything's energy and nobody knows anything and everything's nothing. Like, that's exciting now. It gives meaning to
Yeah.
the nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's so far beyond our comprehension that nobody knows. So why try?
Yeah.
Just have fun with this shit and pay the taxes, go to the job, but go to something you like doing that you can enjoy in the moment.
Or at least something you hate minimally.
Right. That you can bitch about minimally.
Minimally.
But no, for
Minimally.
sure, man.
Mimsy.
Because I think I said that last podcast where, I was like, well, why, care about anything and what, it doesn't matter. But it does matter. Because if you can, put into fruition anything that you want, fucking play the game.
And it does matter because we're here, but it also doesn't matter because at the end it's all gone. So enjoy it while it lasts because you're here.
A fun thing about DMT, right? So say you go in one time
mountain.
and you're like, you have this eye-opening experience
Auga.
and it's just the most beautiful thing you've ever seen in your life, right? If you come out of that trip and you're like, yo, I want that again, right? Well, you do DMT and you go back into that. The more you want something, the more it doesn't give it to you and the worse the trip gets.
Yeah.
The minute you let go and you're like, yo, I don't need for anything. I don't want this to be anything, whatever. The minute you let go, it goes back to being beautiful and everything. Teaching you a lesson that everything is, it's not yours. Don't be attached to anything because everything's nothing. Like, you know what I mean? It's going to come and go. You don't own anything in this life. You don't even own your own body, because the ground takes that back when you're done with this life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Now I'm gonna shoot myself into space. Fuck
Ooh.
the ground.
Yeah.
Let the
Inside
stars
the
eat my ass.
You know what would be a cool version of suicide
Space
would be
Pac-Man.
the first trip to Mars. Whoever does that, like, yo, if you know you're gonna die and you're like, yo, fuck it, do this for science. At least your life meant something, and they shoot you to Mars and say you live. You're the only guy on Mars. You're the first man on Mars. Just fucking jerking it. I'd be jerking it on Mars. That's the first thing I would do.
Space semen.
Yeah.
Ooh, that rock looks like titties.
Yeah.
Tell me, that'd be the first thing that they do when they go.
Good-looking
Like, I wonder how it is jerking off on Mars. Gotta
Hot.
find out.
Hot. Super hot.
No, I don't know.
Jism takes a lot longer to turn to crust.
It's fun to watch the world
God, I
open
bet it
up,
would hurt your dick.
but I think so many people are closed-minded.
That's
They're
mine.
gonna hate their life, the rest of their life, because they just try to fit into this pattern and fit their life into this thing with all these material things and match the guy that's next door, where they could just be like, "Yo, fuck it,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do nothing."
It would be kind of cool, like the first guy, they just say they just send one guy to Mars, and they're like, all right, now go up here and cultivate this and do this. But then instead, he just kills himself.
Yeah. Yes.
When he gets there,
Yeah.
he's like, "Fucking, I'm done."
He's like, I just wanted a trip to Mars. Fuck y'all.
They're like
Yes.
watching them from a high-powered telescope. They're like, "Oh fuck, we shouldn't have sent him." I knew it.
Oh, shit. Not again. Like, it's just people just keep killing themselves.
That cost us $3 trillion.
Oh, that
Make
would
me
be
pay
so
taxes. Fucking bitches.
Yeah.
Yes.
Take
Hell
this.
yeah.
Great. That would be
That's
nice,
awesome.
man.
Tell
That
my
would
wife
be
she's a
great.
cunt.
You've got like a note in his front pocket that just says, "This is what you get for making us pay for our land."
Yeah, man. That's but I don't see why these people don't create their own Patreon, and all these people that think the government's lying and shit get together and take $1 from all those people. Don't believe. I'm sure there's like 2 million of you, and then like build your own spaceship, build your own spacesuit, and shoot yourself into space. See what happens. Like, I'm sure you all can come up with a plan to fucking shoot yourself into space. Enough of you dumb motherfuckers can get together
Yeah.
and get the money up and fucking do it.
I feel like there's definitely more than 2 million.
I'm
people
sure
out
Elon
there.
Musk would love to build a redneck a rocket
What,
and
and they-
shoot him into space. He would love to. I'm sure of
Yes.
it.
Oh yeah. What? And they said one of those spacesuits cost like $1 million.
God.
Yeah, 'cause they're all
it's-
personalized.
Yeah, it's individualized to each person. So because it has to fit them appropriately for them to
Yeah.
be able to perform their duties in space. Duties. I know. You said do DMT earlier. and I'll-
Duty.
Do DMT.
If you shit in a suit, it cost $1 million.
Yes.
No, but I don't know. I just think enough people can get together. I think one of the conspiracy theories that I really like, and I think everybody's, what I've formed my own opinion, that they said NASA, they're faking all the imagery and all that shit. I'm cool with you all saying that. I do believe that there is a space station. Do they ever visit it? No, but they had to put it in orbit to make it realistic. Watch. The reason that NASA
Yeah.
needs what was it, 9 point something billion budget? Yeah, they had the
Yeah.
highest budget out of any other sect, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
They had this huge budget.
Departments.
There
They
you
have
go.
been faking the images since the moon
Since day
because
one.
they're using that amount of money to fund like black operations, to fund those elites and fund these big world missions, whatever they do behind closed doors, jerking off on caskets and shit. But they
In
NASA,
space.
they're
We're gonna
not
come on Mars and like jizz
Yeah.
on people's bodies.
they're not faking it for to make you believe that there's we live in a dome or some shit. They're faking it so that they can use that money. You know, what would it cost? It costs how much to make the Gravity movie? $11 million. Take $11 million out of $9 billion, you still have a shitload of money.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You still have
Yes.
8 point whatever billion.
Very specific.
Yeah. So I think that they just use the majority of that money for things that they don't want to tell the American people about. You know, if they told you, like, you'd be like, no, I want my taxes back for that shit.
Yeah, no shit.
But like the bailouts, stuff like that, when people go under, they use it for things like that.
Yeah,
So
I
you
feel
don't
like they're
see it.
definitely not using it for what they say they're using it for.
Yeah, I call it black ops. It sounds so fucking redneck. You get what I'm saying? The shit
I
that
like it.
they don't want you to
Yeah.
see in the budget report. You know,
$21.5 billion.
21.5, even more than I just
NASA's
said.
budget for
I said
fiscal
9.
year 2019. 21.5. That's
It's
crazy.
inconceivable how much $25 million billion is. That's a lot
how much
of money.
does the FBI get?
I don't know. She can look that up though. I'm sure.
This says it represents 0.49% of the $4.4 trillion the United States plans to spend. 0.49% of our money that we plan to spend.
They get
yeah.
0.49 or 4.9.
0.49.
That's like 1/200.
When you look at money in the form of billion, nobody can conceive a billion.
Yeah, no. It's
But
too
can you
much.
imagine a fucking trillion? $1 trillion is a lot of fucking money.
I ain't
Yeah.
never seen it.
See, that's the thing. Like Jeff Bezos and all these the other world leaders, is they don't know the actual amount that these people hold.
Mm-hmm.
They just know what they can see.
Yeah,
That's
like
it.
their houses, their cars, all
Yeah,
the shit. Yeah, all
their
that
net
shit.
worth is much larger than they put off. Like,
Yeah.
think about all. That's too much money for
But that's
God.
also
to-
because it's not all liquid.
Yeah.
Some
Right.
of it's assets.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're like, oh, I want to buy this $27 billion boat.
yeah.
Shit.
No, you only have $13 billion. The rest of your
No,
shit's
okay.
tied up. Sell it.
Yeah, sell it. What did you ask? You
Oh, the
said
FBI, see what
FBI's
they
budget.
get funded. But see what I'm saying though. So they take that amount of money and then they do with it for what they don't want to tell the American people. Also, something that I've found out through a friend of mine that went to school for like computer hacking. They have people that they want you to go to school for computer hacking so that you can fight the people who are hacking the computers.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to defend yourself.
Be better than the enemy.
So, apparently, when it comes down to your credit card, I don't know if you've ever had your money stolen off a credit card. Somebody does it digitally, overseas, whatever.
Good luck stealing nothing.
Nothing from nothing. But so, what they do is they actually have guys who negotiate payment. So, these people who steal all your information, like your social security, your card numbers, all that,
Yeah.
there's no way for them to stop it. Like, they can't stop them from stealing it. All they can do is negotiate with them for a certain price. So, and that person doesn't get in trouble because they know they can't catch them. They're like, okay, we'll pay you $9 million, right? So that you don't take all those numbers and hack you know what I mean? Steal from those.
Unmarked bills, drop it in the garbage can in the
Yeah.
park.
I think they do it
The
like
northeast side.
transfer Bitcoin because you can't track it, man. And that's what they do that, like negotiate. That's scary to think that people can take all your information. The only defense we have at the moment is negotiating with them for money, which they have a lot of money, but they can't tell the American people that they're negotiating with thieves.
Yeah, they can just don't get more money.
So
Yeah.
you're saying that if anybody knows any technologically intelligent people and they start walking around with a little more than they should, that we should rise up and slay them.
Oh yeah, you should slay them anyways. They're stealing my
Cut their
fucking
fingers off.
identity.
Yeah.
So, do you want to know what the FBI budget was for 2019?
Yes, please.
$9.6 billion. That's $11.9 billion difference. NASA gets $11.9 billion more dollars.
Well, simmer down. It's more
Which, I mean,
expensive
oh,
to
absolutely.
Yeah, shoot rockets.
Because,
Yeah.
it's not like it's a space FBI.
I know.
FBI in space.
That'd be awesome.
Shit, that would be great.
That'd be the IB.
That's just crazy, though.
IBI.
The IBI.
Or Interstellar. Yeah, that's
Uh-huh.
what I was looking for.
That's wonderful.
Ooh, then it was
FBI in space.
if by.
If by. But I think though
They're an
that
ally.
when it comes at like the CIA and the FBI, their main goal is to keep us in line. Like I don't know. I think those agencies are secret agencies, the ones that JFK talked about abolishing. And I
Yeah.
think that's why he was killed. He didn't want to get on board with everything.
Yeah.
So you either get on board or you get off. The one that baffled me, and it actually had me questioning. Now listen to what I'm saying. This is a weird one.
Okay, I wasn't
Hear
going
me.
to, but now
Yeah.
I'll listen.
You gotta listen to this one. So they also said like global warming
Right?
is a media-based frenzy, right?
Yeah.
So they were like, we're gonna pump in this. It's just like what they did with the oil. They said it's so hard to get. It's a fossil fuel. It's gonna run out. Blah blah blah. They made all this hysteria so that they could jack up the price on it, right? Now, for what reason, I don't know, but they're trying to keep us in a state of fear that global warming's happening. We have to do something.
Yeah.
We have to raise taxes
Easier
to
to
fund this
manipulate when we're
green
scared.
movement. Yes. And they've said that global warming, it's a natural process of heating and cooling, and they're playing it in their favor. They're like, well, we can make them believe that this heating process that's just going to happen normally and is habitable, we got to make them believe that it's the end of times.
Right.
We got to make this big change and take all this money from them. But in that state of fear, they're allowed to control us a little bit better. Mm-hmm. But it was something I'm like, I can see that.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. I can understand.
Yeah.
Because when it comes down to it, if the world's going to heat up to an inhabitable space, fuck it.
Inhabitable.
Like, if I can't live in it anyways, I won't be here.
Right.
So what are you going to do? You know what I
Fuck
mean?
it, if it's not livable, I'm out.
I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out this bitch. But that one kind of baffled me, but I like being open enough. She's been the devil's advocate ever since we've been together, and it's helped me open my mind. Like, I don't hate on that.
Yeah.
Because I look at, people who are really fucked up about global warming, and I'm like, maybe those are the people they wanted to get
Yeah.
fucked up so that they shut their mouth about everything else.
Yeah.
Take their attention away from what's really going on.
Yep.
We don't know what that is because our attention's not
Your
there.
attention's not there. Let me show you what's in my left hand so you don't see what my right hand's doing. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, man, I'm cool with that. Like, I can understand that. And I don't hate on them for doing it. Like, I don't, you can control this massive amount of people. Yo, all the more power to you. I can't even control my own life. Motherfuckers.
Well, I mean, I feel like it's everything, even conspiracy theories themselves, is just something else to distract us from what's really
Yeah.
going on. Like,
They
who
probably
knows? Like,
implement
maybe-
'em.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They have a budget for making conspiracy theories.
It's our anti-marketing.
It's- and we're putting it out on the record. 9/11 was definitely
yeah.
that isn't even a theory.
Oh,
that
was
happened.
easily
That's
the
some fake
Arabs.
shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that shit happened. But it's fun watching those things. But if you open your head up and like look at it from the bigger picture, if you were this huge being, right, and you could step outside and watch the world work.
Powerful or like 20 feet
No,
tall?
but yeah, like fucking miles tall,
Okay.
like miles tall, and you could go in outer space and just watch the world work, right? And all the fucked up shit goes on. Mm-hmm. It's interesting from an
with you-
interesting point of view.
With you saying that, that's the first time I've ever thought of the name Miles as being weird.
Miles.
Yeah, I never thought of it as
Miles
distance.
tall.
It's like, hey, it's Miles Davis.
Yeah,
But it's like,
yeah.
damn, dude, how many miles?
Wow.
Distance Davis.
Yeah, now I'm upset.
How many miles? That's but it always interests me. Like, okay, I was pissed off about like 9/11 being an inside job and shit.
Yeah.
But when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, over the course of 100 years, let's say,
At least it was self-destructive.
yeah, if you could step outside of that and like back up and watch it all play out, say it was like an hour-long movie, from 1900 to 2000. How fun that would be. Like, it's interesting to see how stupid we are. Like, how fucking dumb are we to, like, kill each other and fucking, like, we're taking I think it's because we are capable of so much, and they don't want you to know that.
Oh yeah.
If they can shut that down and keep you as little as possible, because I think all the answers to anything is within me.
Yeah, that's why they didn't want slaves reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's same concept. Yeah. And they don't want you to know how great your power is, so we got to keep you stupid.
Yeah.
That's why the education system's fucked. It's
Yeah.
not an accident.
No.
Oh,
no.
we don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
Fuck faces.
That's funny.
Just other people are doing it. We couldn't possibly take an example from them
You
and
can
apply
tell.
it.
I've been watching too many of them. Conspiracy
Matt
things,
Bevin
man.
conceded.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's about fucking time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
God.
That little bitch.
They don't take.
Cocksucker.
He's a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bevan, you're a bitch.
Fucking
But
bitch.
I will say that we elected in Andy Bashir, which was the son of
Yeah.
the one that stole all of our.
We elected a
songs.
legacy
Yeah.
to avoid Bevin.
Yeah,
Great.
that's bad, man.
They're like, we'll take anything. We don't give a fuck.
It's exactly the same reason why Trump is in office.
I was gonna say, can we
Yeah.
elect Trump as governor?
That's exactly the same reason, man.
Yeah.
Do you
We
want
saw no
Bevin
better option.
or this bag of trash?
Yeah.
Bag of trash.
Yeah, bag of trash.
Yeah.
Trash.
It's
He
got my
seems
best interest in
reasonable,
mind.
yeah.
But then you'd have people, no, it's a black bag of trash.
Oh, yeah.
Not my governor.
Oh fuck!
Oh, shit.
I like it, dude. That's a good one. I like it.
People
Write
are
that down.
fucking
That's a
stupid.
bit for sure.
Yes.
Wow.
Listen
Got
to that, everybody. I saw this video earlier. This dude, he was walking, and then there was
That's
this dude that he was walking toward, and there was this guy filming it, and this guy was wearing orange, and he was like talking shit. So this dude like laid him out, and like he bloodied his head, and he like
Shit.
punched him like 5 times, and then the dude was laying there, and the guy was all like, "You all right, man?" He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm all right." But he was fucked up.
Yeah.
Like you could tell he was having problems standing.
Damn.
And then the dude that kicked his ass came over and helped him get up.
Oh yeah.
But then the dude tried to put his shoe on, and he fucked up his foot. Like, it's all messed up. And I thought it was pretty great. But it was like...
What's it on?
I found it on Twitter.
Oh okay.
Like,
check that
I
out.
forget. Something about a seagull or some shit. Dude just
nice.
posts, like, crazy-ass videos, and I end up loving them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah.
I
thought it was
watched-
pretty funny.
Awesome.
I watched a Dr. Phil thing, right? Do you all remember the fucking after the girl who legitimately got caught for like licking something and put
The
it
ice
back
cream
in the
broad.
shot?
Ice cream, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you remember the gay dude that licked and ate it with his hand and stuff? So it's him and this other chick. No, it's not a chick. It's a transvestite, right? And they go
Is it a
around.
sweet transvestite?
Dude, they
sweet.
fucking no. She looks like Marilyn Manson and talks like the dude that you hate singing.
Fuck.
Lou
I
Reed,
know.
something.
Lou Reed.
Lou Reed.
Yeah. There
Oh.
we go.
So,
I hate
anyways,
that guy.
they put
No.
him onto
Peace.
this fucking thing. They made that video, and then that other girl like did mouthwash, or the transvestite did the mouthwash and spit it back in the bottle, right? Well, they only did it to get viral, right? They did get viral, and they actually make a shitload of money, and they call themselves influencers.
Wow.
Of course they do.
You can get. That's what I think
You
is
were
crazy.
influenced.
Yeah, that's what I think like is crazy about the internet is you can make money for being a complete waste of time in life.
Yeah.
Like your life is a waste of time, but you make money
Because
doing it.
people love watching wastes of time.
What does that say about us? What does that
We're
say about?
wastes of life.
Yeah,
Which
What
is
is
why
it?
we should all be killed.
I think everybody who made the because that's the thing. You could do something outrageous, and as long as you're getting views, you can make money from those views, no matter if they're good, bad, or indifferent. That's the crazy thing. And then the people who want to try to make a difference or try to do something have a hard time doing it because you're not doing something stupid.
Look at this douchey positive person.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
They don't want
he
that,
just
man.
wants money.
Yeah.
People don't want to know that they're worth a lot and that they can do a lot and all that shit. They like thinking that, oh, I can't do that. That's not for me. And then they go on with their boring life.
Although I
and
feel like
whatever.
it is a youthful mindset. 'Cause, I mean,
what is?
The idea of being an
Influence?
influencer and
Oh,
being like a
yeah.
piece of shit. Because, like, if I was like 16 and I could get a bunch of views on YouTube from being an asshole, like, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I would
Give me them
too, yeah.
ducats.
See, and that's
Stack that shit. Fuck the world.
That shit.
we did that, and I'm sure y'all did that, like stupid shit
Yeah.
back when you didn't film everything, back when we didn't have smartphones and stuff.
We used to film everything. We just didn't put it on the internet.
See,
Yeah.
I had
it would probably
tapes,
be
just
bad now.
Stacks of tapes.
There's a record. It's just not for the world.
We'd all probably be in the same boat
Mm-hmm.
if the internet is where it's at now. Back when we were in high school and shit, we'd definitely be the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But who would, when they grow up, because I know if I did that shit when I was 16, 17, and then I'm my age now, that, I'd look back like, fuck, man, that's what I'm known for.
Yeah.
Like that Catch Me Outside girl, that's all she can ever be known for, ever. Like, that's it. That sucks.
But I mean, in your lower self's form of things, you're not thinking,
No.
what's my positive legacy going to be? It's
Right.
just, I'm going to shit on the world.
And make a little bit of money
Yeah.
and buy a grill
Yeah.
and a Maserati.
I just don't get why
where my head's
like
at.
they would do something.
I just want to cook and drive.
That's right.
I'd get a personal chef is exactly what I would do.
I would like to
Yeah.
make money doing positive shit though. Like that's fun to me. I could see doing that, going around just doing positive
Well, and
shit.
even doing stupid stuff like look at Jackass, but they didn't like harm other people. They harmed each
Right,
other.
Each other.
But like
Thank you. Yeah.
yeah,
They didn't
and
involve people.
licking ice cream and drinking mouthwash and spitting it back in the bottle is fucking
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Well,
You're
what
just
about
an
the
ass eater at that
Yeah,
point.
yes.
what about the people who like do pranks and that's what they do? Like, when y'all
Pranks
are gonna
are one thing that
yeah, but
they
some
can
of them
be-
go a little bit too far, man.
yeah, that's just not a prank. Like
They're gonna get
pranks are
shot.
humorous.
And then they're
Yes.
gonna be like, "Yo, I'm gonna sue that guy." You can't, because you were pranking them,
Yes.
quote unquote.
You put yourself in that
You
situation.
put your like those two. I watched two guys that they were jumping over the fence at Area 51, and they got manhandled by a whole fucking force of army
Yeah.
guys. And then like wanted to, when they come up on them, wanted to act like, "Oh, I'm just this." Like, yo, it says don't cross,
Yeah.
or we will shoot you.
Yeah.
Like this
We got-
is your fault.
We got two guys approaching the fence. Send out 30 trucks.
Yeah, they rode up on them deep, and I'm like, holy fuck. But you know what I mean? They think that just because they say, "Oh, it's a prank," that it's okay.
Yeah, no,
you
it's
interfered
not.
with my life. Like, I'm gonna kill you now.
Yeah, and that shit, fucking with someone else's like well-being or financial stability, like stuff like
Right.
that. That's not a prank.
No,
That's-
they go too far on some of it.
And it's like, how much balance do you want in the world? Do we want like an even balance, or do we want like to cut out the majority of wrongdoing and rottenness?
I
I'd
don't know.
like to go
that-
ahead and cut that out.
So for me, it depends on the day.
you
Because
need
I
it,
think
yeah.
a world where it's like the balance is purely good, it's boring.
Boring.
But if
Yeah.
it's all rotten, it's shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, whenever there's like a balance there, it's like, well, you got to put up with
Got
the
to.
bullshit to accept the good. But then, it's like if you want to believe in free speech, you have to put up with assholes
Yeah.
that you disagree with that want to be Nazis,
And the ones
All
that
right.
But you know what? Stuff like that doesn't bother me. You can believe it. Yeah, it's terrible, but you can believe and speak and say anything that you want. That's for you. That doesn't impact me in any way, and it shouldn't impact other people. The problem is when action comes into play and you
Yeah.
harm other people. That's a
Beliefs
problem.
do, as long as they're genuine beliefs, they tend to lead to action.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
if you allow people to
radical.
believe whatever the fuck they want, then inevitably they're going to act however the fuck they want.
Yeah.
somebody's
that is
gonna
true.
But
somebody's
then
gonna
if you
get
take
shot.
away people's ability to think for themselves and believe what they want, then you're just a tyrannical ruler.
I like having all of it though, and being that extreme bad and then the extreme good, because you get to enjoy all of it. It, like you said, it'd be boring if it was all good. Motherfuckers going around hugging each other would just be a boring ass
Yeah, I
life.
love you. Ha ha ha. I love you too. Ha 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 ha.
There can't be peace.
Here's a
I
flower. I made a flower crown.
I like the idea of it just being like all peaceful and stuff, but realistically, it would never happen. Like to have good, you have to have bad. Like to have whatever, you have to have whatever. There's always opposites. It's just how it is, unfortunately. And
See,
Or
I don't
fortunately.
necessarily.
or
I don't-
fortunately,
I don't
yeah.
fully subscribe to that. Like, with the. Like, if you're going to have good, you're going to have bad. You won't know what good is if you don't have bad. But I feel like you can.
Yeah, I guess it's all just perspective, essentially.
I mean, you might not appreciate it as much.
Right.
Because, if my life was just purely awesome all the time, I'd eventually get to the point where it's like, it's like rich people. They're like, I don't know how much a fucking banana costs.
Yeah.
I've got billions.
Yeah.
But
Billions of bananas.
I would still. I know they're going to expire, Clarence. Don't you worry about what I have. You sit over there with your cotton balls.
I think that's the difference between happiness and joy. Happiness is a feeling that you can feel and you can exert, and it's something that comes, you know what I mean? Like if you're always trying to feel happiness, you'll always be sad. But the joy is what you want, because you can be you can choose to be happy in whatever situation, right?
Yeah.
Joy only comes in joyful moments. Like when something's truly joyful. Happiness is something that you can choose to be or not be that day.
Right.
You
Well,
can
I mean,
choose
to
to
be.
be.
You still have to work at it. It's
Yeah.
not like,
Yeah.
oh,
sure.
I'm gonna go get a candy bar, and it's that easy.
You always have to work. But if you could be happy doing the process too, that would be, you know what I mean? You can continuously be happy if you
Yeah.
want. Love the shitty process to being happy. Like there's a process to it. But the joy, if you try to get as much joy, but that comes and goes. Like, cool, you're gonna have joy and you're gonna have disappointing moments.
Yeah.
Like, deal with it.
It's part of life. Yeah, deal with it. Deal with it.
Motherfucker getting hungry over here.
Yeah,
Y'all
billions of
getting
bananas is what we're having for dinner.
Billions
Billions
of
of
bananas. Get that
Yeah.
calcium potassium. Not
Milk
calcium.
bananas.
Milk
Heart
bananas.
attacks in this
Milk
bitch.
That was another episode of fucking Wildly Uninteresting.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
number
Stand,
33, so if you motherfuckers don't know, you know now.
Trace, bitches.
Dub true.
Subscribe and share, and go to our Patreon, which doesn't exist, but I'd like to watch you look for an hour. Check it out. yo.
Record yourself searching.
Yeah.
Yeah, send it to us.
Send it
Send
to
it
us.
Yeah, man,
Let us get
subscribe
it.
and share this shit so that we can
Share
grow
shit so that we can
Share.
grow.
and get
Grow.
and get.
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 And get.
And get.
That was another
And get.
episode. Why don't you listen? Thank you for listening.
Boppity bop bop boppity bop bop boppity bop bibbity bibbity bop bop bop.
Wildly uninteresting.
I'm in a band
Podcast.
and my scatting is always terrible.